I thought I was cursed, but turns out I'm the luckiest person alive moment. I wasn't expecting anything that Tuesday morning when I got fired from my third job in 6 months. The day started normally, grabbed coffee, took the subway downtown, settled at my desk when my boss called me into his office with that apologetic look I was recognizing too well. He said the startup was downsizing, investors pulling funding, tough market conditions. I'd been there exactly 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I hadn't even figured out where they kept the good pens yet. At that point, I was convinced I was genuinely cursed. Maybe I'd walked under a ladder while a black cat crossed my path during a full moon. My mom kept saying, "Everything happens for a reason, sweetheart," in that overly optimistic tone she used whenever my life was falling apart. But honestly, I was starting to think the reason was that the universe just hated me personally. I trudged home feeling like a complete failure. My roommate Sarah found me stress-eating cereal from the box while scrolling through job postings that all required 5 years of experience for entry-level positions. She suggested I check out this career fair downtown since I had literally nothing else to do, and I figured why not add another rejection to my growing collection. The convention center was packed with desperate job seekers clutching resumes and practicing elevator pitches. Everyone was fake smiling at recruiters who looked like they'd rather be getting root canals. The energy was this weird mixture of forced enthusiasm and barely concealed panic. After an hour of conversations going nowhere, I was wandering aimlessly when disaster struck. Checking my phone, I accidentally knocked over this guy's coffee all over his laptop at a small corner booth. Complete disaster. Coffee everywhere. Laptop screen flickering. Papers soaked. The entire booth looked like a caffeinated crime scene. I started apologizing while frantically grabbing napkins, expecting him to lose it. Instead, this guy Marcus just started laughing. Genuinely belly laughing, the contagious kind. He looked up with bright eyes and said, "Well, that's one way to make an impression," and introduced himself as founder of a small marketing agency. His booth was simple compared to flashy corporate displays, just a table, brochures, and now a very wet laptop. Turns out he'd been sitting there 3 hours, and I was literally the first person to approach, even if completely by accident. Instead of rushing off embarrassed, we talked for over an hour about everything except jobs. He told me about his rescue dog Benny who had separation anxiety and chewed shoes. I found myself sharing my ridiculous employment disasters, and somehow we were cracking up. And for the first time in months, I felt like maybe my life wasn't a complete tragedy. When he mentioned having an entry-level position available, I thought he was joking, but Marcus was serious. He said anyone brave enough to destroy his equipment, then stick around cleaning it up while making him laugh, had exactly the personality he wanted on his team. He handed me a slightly damp business card. The job started Monday, and I discovered something amazing. I was actually good at marketing. Really good. I had this intuitive sense for what messages would resonate, probably from years of talking my way out of disasters. Marcus became an incredible mentor, teaching me everything while treating me like a partner. 6 months later, when he expanded to a second location, he asked if I wanted to manage it. A year after that coffee disaster, I was running my own branch, making more money than I'd dreamed of and actually excited for work. But here's the crazy part. Marcus and I had been spending so much time together, working late nights and weekend sessions, that people joked we were married to the job. Somewhere along the way, those feelings became real. We tried staying professional, but eventually couldn't ignore the electricity during strategy meetings. Last month, exactly 2 years after I destroyed his laptop, Marcus proposed at the exact spot where we met. He even brought coffee as a prop, which made me laugh until I cried. Turns out getting fired from those terrible jobs was the best thing that ever happened to me.